It was an anxious night for all the animals. Dexter the dachshund had gathered the animals around the dig. Dexter had learned that nasty Otis the otter was coming back to take over the dig and throw Dexter and the others out of Mardenborough Estate. Where would they all go? Crimbley Dell just wouldn't be the same. Something had to be done. Dexter is a great pal to all the animals, and they had made friends with him all those years ago when he refused to catch the rabbits on Lord Mardenborough's estate. So Lord Mardy tossed poor Dexter into the yard. Sometimes humans can be so cruel to animals. But Dexter, being the ever so resourceful hound, found an old ramshackle shed at the bottom of Mardy's estate and decided it would be an ideal home for him. It's there that Dexter's dig was born. Dexter, the top sales dog and entrepreneur, trades various items at his dig with the other animals that live in Crimbley Dell. All the animals love Dexter and they stick together through thick and thin. Well, as you know, Dexter had said he had a plan, and all the animals had a big part to play to help send Otis away. Dexter wore his customary waistcoat and bowler hat. He thought this made him look very important, so the others knew he meant business. Now, listen up, there's lots to do. Dexter sounded worried but excited at the same time. He is a brave dog. It must have been that long body and wagging tail, but he was ever so confident, and the others loved him so much. They especially loved his jokes. Has everyone got their pen picture? All of the animals nodded and muttered. Some even sniggered with secret laughs as they looked at the plan. Now, I've devised a plan which I want you, Billington, to implement. Billington the boar looked at Dexter a bit confused. Okay, Bill, I've thought of a plan which I want you to make for me. Oh, why don't you just say then, Dex, replied Bill. Dexter sighed. Right, I need you to make some camouflage trees. Camouflaged? But aren't trees already camouflaged, Dex? Billington replied. No, I mean some trees made out of wood, Dexter retorted. But trees are already made out of wood, Dex. Billington was really confused now. No, I need you to make some false trees to hide behind so we can ambush Otis. Dexter was worn out trying to explain his plan to Billington. He was a nice boar and excellent at making things, but just needed a bit more patience and time to explain. The animals were really excited about the parts they played in the big plan. Billington only ever got excited about his tools. If you mentioned the word hammer or spanner, he giggled and chuckled to himself with excitement. Billington was a real bore, but he was harmless. Bertie Badger, you need to go and get some acorns in my wheelbarrow with Swizzer. Oh, and don't forget the 20 jars of honey Mr. Bristles the bee has given us. Dexter spoke in a very quiet, calm voice, and as he looked around, all of the animals were listening to him, almost without blinking. Max and Vic, we need some feathers. Do you know where we can get hold of a couple of bags? Max and Vic chuckled. Leave it to us, boss. They both looked at each other and giggled. Oh, Dex, I hope we can do this. Otis is such a mean otter, cried Louis the lop-eared rabbit. Louis was adorable. He had lovely green eyes and he was quite the favourite of Betty Bunny, but she didn't tell anyone. Right, everyone, we need to be up bright and early tomorrow. We have lots of work to do. Cliff, set your alarm clock an hour earlier tonight. I want you crowing before dawn. Yes, sir, Cliff the cockerel answered. He was a very loud, strict chicken, rather like a sergeant major, and with that the animals went off to bed, knowing that they had a lot of work to do in very little time, as Otis was on his way. The next morning, just before dawn, Cliff woke Crimbley Dell with an extra loud followed by, "Right, you horrible lot! Up and at 'em! Move it! Move it!" Cliff could be quite bossy. Dexter laid out the plans and Billington brought along all of his tools, while Daphne Dachshund brought all the animals' refreshments from the kitchen of Mardenborough Mansion. There was a lot of shouting, sawing, hammering, gluing and painting, until by midday the trap was all set up. "Great work, everybody!" Dexter exclaimed. "Now we'll really show Otis who is boss." All the animals laughed and cheered. Tremble, tremble, shake, shake, shudder. Otis was on his way. The ground shook like a big lorry going past. The leaves on the trees tried to hold on to the branches, but they couldn't hold on any longer, and they fell with a swoop to the ground, falling with a rustle as the animals made their way to their positions. The noise got louder and louder as Otis emerged from underground. The animals all shook in their furs as they heard the mighty pushing of the earth and the appearance of the grouchy, ginormous otter that was Otis, with his two friends, Stanley Stoat and Wilfie Weasel. "Ha ha ha!" Otis guffawed with a menacing laugh. "No one out to play then? Oh dear! Come on, Dexter, where are you?" He laughed, but he sounded mean and nasty. It's scary just reading about it. At this point, the animals gave their signals to each other that they were ready. Dexter had asked them all to flick up their tails, if they had one, and count to 3. The first attack came from Bertie, who tipped a huge sticky pot of honey at Otis and his friends Stanley and Wilfie. The honey hit them all like a big sticky tidal wave. The 3 rotters tried to get their eyes open, but their eyelashes were all stuck together. At the same time, Billington had tipped the bags of goose feathers, and Otis the otter was no more. He was more like Otis the grouchy goose, as he was as feathery as a room after a pillow fight. Otis was mad. Oh, he was very mad. The animals all started to giggle and then chuckle and then chortle, and then they all guffawed. "Ha ha ha! I can't breathe! Ha ha ha! Look at him! He looks like Gordon the Goose after a good dunking in the daiquiri." Dexter was cracking up with laughter. Suddenly, from out of nowhere, came millions of green acorns that sprayed and hit Otis, Stanley and Wilfie from every direction, hitting them on every part of their bodies. "Oh, ouch, ouch, get off, blimey, help!" It was hilarious. It was brilliant. It was fantastic. It was Dexter the Dachshund and his pals at their very best. It was not long before, in the distance, that all that could be seen was a shower of falling acorns, like shooting stars hitting Otis, as he, Stanley and Wilfie ran for their lives. "I'll be back, Dexter. I won't forget this. I'll get you, Dexter," Otis screamed. "Ah, Dex, you are so brave and clever. I think I'd like to trade you that bone from the dig if you don't mind." Daphne Dachshund chuckled along with Dexter as they both watched Otis run off into the distance. It was just another great day in Crimbley Dell, don't you think?